Es amigo de Tuco.
¿De Tuco, de verdad? Ah. Entonces estás bien aquí todavía. Ay, estoy jugando contigo. Vamos a platicar tú y yo, ¿eh? Nos conocemos.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down discussing the Season 5 finale for Better Call Saul. Season 5, Episode 10, Something Unforgivable.
We would have to hurt him bad. To get a bunch of lawyers to run for the exits, Howard would have to have done something unforgivable.
Apologies, this video was a day late, but we're here now to talk about this finale, and geez, there's a lot to dive into, so warning of spoilers up to episode 510, and let's jump right into this. All the cards are now on the table. All bets are off. I'm surprised that Nacho survived the episode, but now I'm once again worried for him going into the final season of the show, Season 6. And yes, Season 6 is confirmed to be the last. We covered it in a video right before Season 5 started airing. Check it out if you haven't yet already. Anyways, my favorite part of the episode is probably Lalo's tunnel. Okay there, El Chapo. AMC actually spoiled the fact that Lalo had a tunnel because I was slightly late watching the episode, but regardless, it was still awesome and I loved it. There's no way that they didn't take inspiration from El Chapo. I know he's not the only one ever to dig a tunnel, but as far as I know, he's the most famous for creating tunnels to smuggle drugs along with escape jail. And let me say, I got a lot of Narcos and Narcos Mexico vibes from Lalo's house in this episode and I loved it. Lalo himself reminded me a lot of Pablo from the first 2 seasons of Narcos as well, especially when Lalo becomes all badass and walks back in to kill his assassins. So, I loved this season 5 finale, but it left me wanting more. I thought that we were going to see the end of either Kim, Nacho, or Lalo, but now we're roped into seeing what happens to them next season. Think of the previous season finales. We have season 1, it just felt so satisfying with Jimmy driving away from Mike singing Smoke on the Water. Season 2, it was revealed that Chuck had secretly recorded Jimmy. Season 3, Chuck dies. Season 4, Mike kills Werner and Saul walks away from Kim going Saul Goodman. And yeah, season 5, we have a crazy shootout at Lalo's house. A bunch of stuff goes on with Kim and Jimmy. Are they gonna go down a bad choice road again? What's going on? It's a crazy episode, but at the same time, it didn't leave me feeling as satisfied as every other finale of the show. The thing is, for me at least, I already had 100% tension for these characters going into the episode. Now my anxiety for them surviving has raised to a solid 110%, but I'm still left wanting more. If this episode was just a normal episode in the middle of the season and not the finale, I feel like I'd be more accepting of it. But since we have to wait who knows how long for season 6, especially with everything else that's going on in the world causing delays right now, it just feels underwhelming. Now I will give them credit for having a solid episode along with a good ending that leaves me wanting more. I guess that's the point of having a season finale, right? It's not a series finale, it's to conclude a story and leave you wanting more at the same time, so you'll come back for next season, but I can't help but feel underwhelmed. Don't get me wrong, the episode was amazing and I'll get into why, but I just want to give you my honest initial reactions. I thought things were going to move faster in regards to Kim or Nacho's lives being on the line. It makes sense to keep their characters on for the final season and not snuff them out in this episode, but I had different expectations from what we got. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, that's kind of like how it is going into every episode, but this time it wasn't necessarily a good thing. Not every episode has to be insane or over the top. Episode 510 was still a good episode that stands strong alongside every other episode in season 5, so I just want to make that clear before someone assumes that I'm hating. I just crave more out of the final episode knowing that this season is over. So I've just been all over the place so far this video. Let's go over some key points in the episode, and of course I'll be discussing more topics in separate videos within the coming days. So first off, the show does what it does best. Start an episode right off where the previous episode's cliffhanger left off and then continue on. We get to see Jimmy and Kim in the apartment still, and Jimmy calls Mike, or rather picks up the phone to talk to Mike because the phone call's still going, but he doesn't really get much of an answer and he hangs up, so Jimmy and Kim decide to buy a room at a nearby hotel. Kim decided to go into work, but Jimmy's too scared for them to leave. Kim knows that they can't live their life hiding in a hotel room, and I love the way that she puts things into perspective. What about tomorrow, or the next day, or next week? week, we have to get on with our lives. So Jimmy decides to go bother Mike in order to get his own peace of mind, although we know by watching the end of the episode that Lalo is still alive and he's pissed. Pissed at not only Nacho, Gus, but also possibly Kim and Jimmy as well. Not sure what he'd want with Kim and Jimmy. All that this assassination did was prove that Kim was right that Lalo can't trust his own men, but with Lalo as pissed off as he is, with everyone dead that was living at his house, shit definitely hit the fan. And I'll have to double check, but was that poor innocent woman who Lalo walked away from dead at the end of the episode actually his mother? Because he just says at the beginning of the episode that she's the cook, so I'm not sure if she's his mom or not, but either way it's still brutal, even if the people here are just hired workers and not actual Salamanca family. Nacho even tried to tell the people over the phone to not kill them during his bathroom phone call, but we all know that that's sadly not how Gus or the cartel operates. What's messed up too is that when Lalo was introducing Nacho to all these people living here, I thought, well, if every Salamanca dies before Hector and Gus in Breaking Bad, so these people are Salamancas, then, and sure enough, they're all dead by the end of the episode. Again, I'm not sure if these people are actual Salamancas or just workers, but that's at least the connection that was running through my head while watching the episode. Now, the moment when Lalo uses the young guard as a meat shield is just, oh, that's nuts. And then I feel like Lalo throwing the burning oil on that assassin's face will stand out as a classic moment for sure. Solid action, kinda comical, really intense, and definitely something Lalo would do. It just definitely goes within his characteristic. It's interesting how Nacho used it as a distraction initially so he could escape, and then Lalo does the same thing later on, using it as a weapon before fleeing temporarily. And then when Lalo escapes, I was thinking, what are you doing going back to your house? But he goes in and murders all the people that were trying to murder him, and it's just crazy. Lalo's literally the last man standing out of that whole area. I know I'm all over the place, but let's backpedal a little bit and talk about Don Eladio because he makes a bunch of great appearances this episode, although I will admit his character does look older now than he does in Breaking Bad. I know it's like this with a lot of characters, I've accepted that, it doesn't even really bother me, but Eladio stands out especially. That being said, I'd rather deal with that over just not having him in the episode at all, because we get great moments such as Lalo gifting Don Eladio the red Ferrari that looks like the same one from the movie Magnum P.I., along with Nacho meeting Don Eladio and having a full-on discussion with him. It's funny, it was like a job interview but for the cartel. Everything went so smoothly for Nacho, meeting Lalo's family, meeting with Don Eladio, with Juan Bolsa there, but he had to answer that phone call because sadly it was his only chance for survival. I feel like he almost didn't want to, but that assassination hit was coming that night regardless of if Nacho left or not, or if he even answered his phone or not. Sure, he opened the lock for the assassins to get into the compound, but I feel like they had a plan B to either bust down the door or sneak in some other way, possibly just over the wall. Also, I suppose that Lalo didn't have the best security, but I'm surprised that Nacho didn't get caught somehow sprinting away from the compound. Maybe the assassins took out any of the guards around the perimeter before they met up with Nacho at the back door, I'm not too sure. And it's kinda crazy that that's the last we see of Nacho for the rest of the episode. We don't see where he runs away to, that's just left open-ended for now. Now there's the one guard that saw him run away, but all of Lalo's guards wound up dead. Lalo still suspects Nacho since he's just completely missing after the attack with his drink still there, not to mention what the final assassin told Lalo about there being a middleman, so I feel like Lalo definitely knows that Nacho had something to do with it. Now there's a lot to talk about from this episode along with the season in general. We'll be discussing Nacho versus Lalo in a future video, and also to switch gears for a moment, I can't believe that Kim and Jimmy brought up the Sandpiper settlement money, especially the way that they did. I'll also be discussing that in its own Slippin' Kimmy video, yeah, I said that right, followed by a video on how Jimmy and Saul corrupted Kim throughout season 5. So leave any thoughts and opinions about that down below, and I may elaborate on your comments in my future videos. Although I love sitting here talking about the show, there's just so much to discuss that I can't possibly fit it all into my initial review and recap without the video becoming like over a half-hour long. So with that said, check back on the channel daily for consistent in-depth Better Call Saul breakdowns, discussions, theories, and predictions, because I have an overwhelming amount of daily content planned for you guys. Well, actually, I'd probably plan on a video coming out every 2 days or so on average, but we may double up occasionally. Some videos take longer to do than others. So not only is there a handful of discussion topics from the season 5 finale, there's a ton of season 6 predictions that we can theorize about, along with a list of videos I already have in the works which I've told you about from season 5 already, such as the Where's Kim in Breaking Bad video, Kim quits her job, Gene's season 5 breakdown, a full Howard season 5 breakdown, an updated It Wasn't Me, It Was Ignacio video, and speaking of which, let's tease that conversation for a moment. I want to know what you guys think. Does Nacho still do something else to Lalo in season 6 that we haven't seen yet? yet? Or is this assassination attempt from the season 5 finale the thing that Saul is talking about in the Breaking Bad scene when he's selling out Nacho to Walt and Jesse because he thinks that they're men that Lalo sent after him, along with what to expect from season 6 and just the rest of season 5 in general. Also, I have done a quick review and recap type video for each episode of season 5, but I will be going back through each episode and each season, starting with season 1 episode 1, giving a full definitive breakdown for each episode of the show, and if that goes well, maybe someday we can do Breaking Bad as well. Finally, we didn't get the Gene scene this episode that we wanted. Well, no one told us we were going to, but a lot of people were theorizing that we'd get a bonus Gene scene in season 5, but we didn't. So season 5 didn't break the formula, that's fine, we only did get one scene in episode 501. In hindsight, I'm okay with it. I knew I'd feel this way, especially after how amazing it was and how much content we got, but I was still hoping we'd get more, and I really hope that season 6 breaks that formula, and that we see more than just Gene at the beginning of season 6, or even more than just one full Gene episode at the end of the series as a whole, but I'll get more into that in the future. Again, sorry if this video was all over the place, but take that as a reflection on my reaction to the episode. It was good, but it really left me conflicted, with everything between Nacho, Donaladio, and Lalo, to everything on the other side with Kim and Jimmy and the Sandpiper settlement money. I have so many questions flowing through my brain that I just can't wait to break it down in my next few videos, but for now I'll have to wrap it up before I ramble on too much. Maybe if I had a podcast style or live stream setup with a single photo, I could just sit here and shoot the shit talking about the episode for like 45 minutes to an hour, but as it is, it takes a long time to edit and put together these videos, so every moment counts. With that being said, I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything that I've said today, and if you're new here or just haven't yet already, subscribe and hit that bell notification for updates on when I do post new videos on Better Call Saul, because as you can tell from what I said earlier in the video, I'm a broken record about how much there is to still talk about. I want to talk about it all at once, but I gotta systematically break it up into separate videos and organize my thoughts, so with that being said, I'll take a deep breath and I'll see you guys when I finish putting together those videos. As always, I thank you guys all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!
Magnum P.I. Y que suavecita.